Hi, happy day. If you're new here, well, thank you for visiting my channel. Or what? Thanks for clicking and whatever. Yeah, if you're new here, I'm gonna come on here and say some random stuff. Granted, it's not really my words. It's what I've learned over the years. I just kind of ramble and somebody else takes over. So whoever is taking over at that time, enjoy. Um, only good things to come. Oi, oi, oi. I woke up with the most allergies, like eyes itching, like just. Ugh. I'm allergic to pretty much everything, except for like horses and pine. That's the full flora and fauna that do not cause something in me, in my nostrils or eyes or something. Spring allergies make my eyes itch, and my nose do stuff. Fall allergies to me nose and throat. Don't know why I said that, but I said it. That being said, there has been a word that's been following me around for the past few days. And last night I finally realized, oh, that's been I literally just am trying to practice what I preach. I'm always everybody, not everybody, but people ask, how do you do this and this and that? I'm like, this is how. These are the ways. Um. So yeah. Anyway, um, there's been a word following me around. It started on, I think it was last week, like Wednesday. Maybe, I think it's been exactly a week now. It's been 7 days. 7 days. And the word is implications. And so I said, this word came up while I was redoing my stairs. Um, and so I was redoing that. Got to clean them off at least every once in a while to get up to our living domicile. And when it's all snowy or whatever, there's a bunch of leaves or whatever, I consider that a hazard. Especially like, anyway. And I get a phone call from my partner, and we're just talking, and I'm talking about, I think I say the implications or whatever. And there's this joke on Sunny with the Chance, not Sunny with the Chance. That's Demi Lovato. I'm waking up, y'all. Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where one of the characters gets a boat, and he's like, we'll have the ladies come on the boat and they'll want to hang out and do stuff because of the implications, because we're out on sea, because of the implications. Then I have people come over like the following day or a couple days. No, it's the following day, I think. No, it's a couple days because it was on Friday and that was on Wednesday. And there's a conversation comes up, and somebody else brings up implications, and we make this kind of sunny with the chance joke apparently. Um, you're getting too far ahead of yourself. I think something about Demi Lovato is the thing. That's why Sunny with the Chance keeps coming up. But always Sunny. And then last night, I'm watching a show. Not Sunny with the Chance or Always Sunny. I'm watching Running Point, new show with Kate Hudson and Brittany Sun. And the word implications comes up again. Look, I have not heard the word implications so much in my life. And here I am. with implications. So this morning, before I hit record, I'm I looked up implication. I was gonna read it beforehand, but I kind of just wanted to read it on here to see what comes up properly. Implication, plural, implications. The first definition, the conclusion that can be drawn from something, although it is not explicitly stated. There's a little quote. The implication is that no one person at the bank is responsible. The second definition is the action or state of being involved in something. The quote is our implication in the problems. Ooh wee. 7:16 my time as I say this. Today is an 8th day in the world, March 5th. This is an involvement. You have this so there's other similar words. Suggestion, inference, insinuation, innuendo, hint, intimate, intimation, incrimination, involvement, connection, entanglement, association. There are I don't know if I'm going to use it properly, but the implication is that our implication, yeah, to like infer, to be able to get what's being said. Even with this, there are implications. You have your own involvement in this, because you 717, as I say this, you 7 on the dot, you clicked on this video, you logged into YouTube. I'm not anywhere else but on YouTube. I don't know why I'm yelling at you about it, but I'm not. I do have other stuff, like there's like other things, like I have a Patreon that's connected with this now, because that so people could connect with me, because that's what people were wanting to do, and I'm not on any other social media like that. Um, so I'm on YouTube. I went cold turkey off like TikTok and all those like those short things a while ago, because it was just I had curated the weirdest feed, so I couldn't really control it. I was following 10,000 people. Um, but yeah, it it's time for you to understand that there are some implications around you. As in, sometimes even the universe is like, hey, I'm going to put you in this situation because I want you to do something. And there's this thing that is not explicitly stated to you from the universe. Because, like, quite literally, how else is the universe going to talk to you? I have to sneeze. Oh. Held it. The universe, I mean, sometimes the universe will straight up say, hey, these are the words exactly, because you think you want a sign. You think you want a verbatim, hey, do this. And then somebody comes and says, hey, do this, and then what do? Not that. Because sometimes you don't want the actual words. There needs to be a situation formed in order for you to follow suit. It doesn't always have to be like that. It doesn't always have to be like that. This mic isn't even on. It's just kind of in the way. I was recording a song yesterday. It doesn't have to be like that. It doesn't have to be like, okay, well now I essentially have to manipulate you into this. You get the subtle nudges. You get the subtle nudges, okay? And you get the subtle nudges, and you sometimes just ignore them. Yeah, like, I'll wait for that to be a bigger nudge. I'll wait for that to be a little louder. Um, and that's fine, but like sometimes that little nudge or a bigger nudge ends up being a whole shove, and now you got a face full of sand. Why are you on the beach? Where are you? Which coast are you on? Which beach are you at? No, that's none of my business. I don't care. I'm not gonna remember. I try not to know anything about people, because one, I have way too much information. After doing as much sales and insurance and all that, people have given me their social security numbers, birthdays, addresses, and all that stuff, and all of their families too, because it needs to be on the insurance policy. So, and credit card numbers and bank account numbers and all that. So it became very easy for me to just like zombie mode type things in. So then I can remain out of their business. To be quite frank, now I do a lot of stuff where I'm required to sign NDAs, and I'm like, oh, even if I haven't signed the NDA at all, then I still treat myself like I'm under NDA because I am going to be signing an NDA. So why would I try and hurry up and talk about all the things beforehand and then sign an NDA? Because if it comes out that I said something about it, it doesn't matter if I had signed the NDA or not. I mean, it does, I guess, legally, but like for that person that I'm working with, it doesn't matter. I've already lost their trust. Like, great, I won't get sued, but it's like also if I had said something about it and then signed it, it's my job to be like, hey, before I sign this, I didn't know I was going to have to sign this, and I said some stuff, and this is who I told, and this. So I'm still going to sign it. It's just I do want you to know that I did say that out loud already. So then they're fully aware. And in that, it it makes it to where I have less implication in my own problems. One, two, three, four, as I say this. Um, a lot of times, and I'll talk about myself in this point because I feel like it's kind of a bit critical. A lot of times I will want to go meditate and then I'll be thinking about all these things and I'll just be like, oh my gosh, and this is bothering me, and this is bothering me, this is bothering me. And I won't say a lot of times now because that's changed a little bit. But especially early on, whenever I was really studying meditation, so that I could reach a comprehension point. And it was really hard to clear my mind. And a lot of the times I was thinking about the conversations that I had with people. I'm like, yay, I did such a good job. And I realized over time that the reason 1331, as I say this, the reason why it was such a, a remaining theme in my meditation is because although I did a good job for them and I made them happy in my response and I danced the way that they wanted me to dance, I didn't do it in a way that was true to myself. And so I would have these, we can call them maladaptive daydreams. We can talk about just dreaming in general, of the lack of consciousness. And whenever I would do these performances, I would be so happy that I got the response from them that I wanted, that I would ignore the fact that I wasn't getting the response from myself that I wanted or that myself needed. And so whenever I started acting just slightly more like myself, not all the time, like I was still a people pleaser, baby. And that wasn't ever gonna change. And at least at that point, without being able to acknowledge that it was there and it was draining for me. And whenever I started to realize, oh, even though like I'm being really nice and people are having a good time with me, and everyone's laughing and nobody's upset, like, that doesn't necessarily mean that I was kind to everyone, because I probably wasn't. Because I wasn't kind to myself, first and foremost. And it's hard to start thinking this way because people start to feel selfish. But if we break down that word, selfish, that is being ish, like yourself. Self ish. Kind of self. But that's better than being selfless. Less of yourself. And that's what that word requests of you. 1551, as I was saying that. Selflessness requires you to be less of yourself. Selfishness allows you to be a bit more like yourself. Not all the way. There's still work to be done, because like, it's also hard work to be truly selfish. And a lot of times when people are telling you, you're selfish, I'm not sure if I'm saying shellfish or selfish. I've said it too many times already. And I always am like, am I saying shellfish? I might be. I'm a water sign, so I just like, but you notice when people are calling you that, they're often the most selfish people in the world. Like, the reason why they're upset with you is because you're not doing something they want you to do. That's usually the case. And they want you to be selfish to them, like more of like, take care of myself too. Everything needs to be about myself. And that's okay. Go do you, boo. But they're not really happy. They're not doing it the proper way. They're just doing it in the way of, you take care of myself, as opposed to, I can take care of myself. That's what true selfishness is. There are certain things in propagandas that are to convince us what are good, what's good, what's bad. One of those is the selfishness. Like, they want you to be like, oh, selfishness is bad. Your joy and your pleasure. If you're trying to make sure that your truest self is taken care of, because it's also, no one's truest self is going to be a bad person. Like, actual truest self. Like, even like the serial killers and the people who are locked up for real bad stuff, they're completely outside of their self at this point. And I know it can feel hard to believe sometimes, but even those people who people want to consider monsters and different have their truest self within them. This pure seed of golden light. And it's love. It's unconditional love. They've never given themselves unconditional love. Even people who like, okay, I specifically hunted this person down. That's not them being true to themselves. No one's truest self is going to be to control, to hurt, to take, to steal in any way. You can't, stealing someone's life, taking from their energy. Like, there are certain things that are just quite simply for the ego. And most of the times, that's the case. Like, especially in those cases when people are like, oh, that person's crazy, they're a monster, they're a this. Have they been taught how to deal with their egos at all? And it's like, and then the word ego has been like this kind of buzzword, as opposed to, this is something that we can tame within ourselves. This is something that we can understand and get to the point where you can release it because it is reformed. Certain things can't be reformed. Certain things can't be integrated into your soul because they weren't yours to begin with. Some things are a part of you because somebody else put it there. And so it's meant to be removed. Because it just wasn't for it. It's like somebody else had their own shit and then they put it on you and then you took it on. But in some cases it's your shit. Some cases it's your, and most of the time it's your shit. Okay? Because there's a reason why you held on to those specific words based off of your own archetype, based off the thing that you're meant to learn. So even if somebody is a bad guy, a bad person, um, eventually, and they've done bad actions in their past, eventually they can learn to integrate not the harm, but the reasoning for harm, the comprehension to harm, the comprehension to steal, the comprehension to as to what led to those things. And sometimes we look back on ourselves and we can be like, man, I wasn't the best person I could be. And remembering that that was a lesson in life so then you can now be the person that you want to be. Um, and move in those ways. And a lot of times we wouldn't have been able to do that if we hadn't experienced those things in the past. You are here because you're at that point where you are taking every inch of you, the demons, the angels, the confirmation purpose. I say this, all the things that people have told you what you are, because most of the time people are pretending to reflect back at you who you are, but really they're just telling you what they think that they are and what you represented. And when that's been happening your whole life, not just by the people that you love, but people that don't love you, and random people, and society, and the things, the implications. Like, oh, all of my family talks shit on people. All they do is say that this person doesn't dress cute enough. They're, that looks nasty. Ooh, you stink. They're always just this, and this, and this. You don't ever stink. You don't ever dress nasty. You don't ever whatever. But when you do stink, or whenever you aren't dressed right, you think the whole world is judging you. Because that's what they do. That's what you were raised around, so everyone must say it like that. Those are the implications. And also, sometimes you took part in it. Because that was the culture. Not granted, it's not exactly you, but it's an example. But there is a culture. And so that judgment culture, that belief culture, that, oh, you're not good enough culture, even if nobody else is thinking it, because you were raised in that, you think that everyone is. So now you're living in an entire different reality than what is reality, which is some people are judging you. Some people aren't. Most people aren't because they are so busy thinking, one, that they're getting judged or they're trying to look some type of way or whatever. They're in their own consciousness, lack of consciousness, whatever. They're living their life. They're their own big character. They don't give a fuck about you. Like, they don't know you. It's none of your business. You're none of their business. But a lot of times we're getting into people's businesses. Like the news. Get out of everybody's business. I know it's hard to do it. I want to be informed and all of that stuff. I promise you, everything that you need to be informed of is within. But it's a lot easier to do that other work. It's a lot easier to be on the news and be like, this, and this, and this. And this, and this, and this. And to distract yourself. But what are you actively going to do about a war somewhere else? What are you actively going to do about somebody that's in a different state? Like, granted, if you're going to be somebody who's going to actively do something about it, then awesome. Look at all the stuff that you need to look at. But I promise you, the people who are actively doing stuff aren't paying attention to that stuff. You're wasting your energy. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your energy. And you're adding, this is your implication. You are adding to your egos. Because now when you're thinking about, Gaza Strip, I don't know if something's still happening in Gaza. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I don't have that to worry about. Honestly, the way that I believe, the more we worry about a place, the more we're casting dark magic on them. The more we worry about, oh no, this community's going to be, and then you're actively just casting black magic. As opposed to, they are fully capable. Because they are. Because they're beings. And not only just beings, but they are strong. They can figure it out. Even the place that has been at war for millennia I mean, some of these places, this is a war place on Earth for history. Has never been not at war. And when everybody thinks of a place as a constant war state or a constant war place, when can it ever leave that consciousness? Because as a collective, we are believing this. So whenever we are following the news and believing these stories that we are told, when it's not happening around us, now all we're doing is casting a collective spell of lies. Because one, terrible stuff is happening. Absolutely. Explosions and murders and babies being taken. Family members never getting to see each other again. Everyone keeps talking about, oh, it's the apocalypse. It is the end of the world for someone every single day. And so many moments of the day. And if I told you that the way that you save the world is for you to go inward and meditate and figure it out, and I'm allowed to say inward, and figure it out, and that would save the world, and yet here you are, sitting on your ass, not meditating. You're already halfway there. You're supposed to sit on your ass. I mean, some people you can stand and you can lay down and you can whatever. But you're generally closer to meditating when you're sitting. And you want to be like, I'm lazy. Okay? Who cares if you're lazy? Be lazy and do work then. You want to be at this computer? You want to be at your phone? You want to be sitting on the toilet for 12 hours? You want to be in your bedroom? Then do something while you're doing nothing. You don't have to move your body to meditate. You literally just have to stop doing stuff. Yet you would rather do task after task after task after task, which is also, this is a task. You're doing something, than to lay there and do nothing. If the whole way to save the world and to create a utopia was for you to meditate and to figure out whatever your consciousness is supposed to comprehend, and to stop looking at the news, would you do it? Okay, so then do you really want to save the world? Okay, then ego. Ego. Okay. Anyway, I've got stuff to do today. Much love. Yesterday I made songs and it was beautiful. I haven't posted them anywhere yet, but I'm just kind of creating what I create. And that's the first step. So, in the meantime, lovies, y'all keep a lookout for the numbers and stay synchronized.